Find your own voice, lead from within. With me today, Carol Ann Cooper. So, Carol Ann, please introduce yourself to our audience.
I'd love to. Thank you, Nomsa. And yeah, good afternoon from London, UK. And as the writing facilitator, what I do is I support women in becoming more productive with their writing by connecting them with their deeper innate ability to write. It's like my words sometimes go like, what? And this can happen when you're wanting to write. You lose track of it, you lose sight of it, you lose connection with it. So I help you to connect with their writing, but at a deeper level. And what they then experience is free-flowing writing. They experience an unlocking of the writer within and getting their book written, getting their story written, because you cannot publish what isn't written. And all of this has come about through my own journey of unlocking the writer within.
So much.
Oops.
I keep muting myself.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carol Ann. So our topic today is how to deal with a life phobia. I'm actually curious about this topic. Why did you choose this topic? Can you explain to our audience, Carol Ann?
Well, I saw the term, or I heard the term life admin, and it was connected with life admin phobia. And it just drew my attention. And I think I was thinking of something else at the time when I saw it. But then when I started looking it up, what is life admin? It was like, oh yeah, I can understand that. Why you'd have a phobia with it and a fear of doing it, or is something that you put off. So I just thought it'd be a great topic to explore, because life admin is just those day-to-day chores that have got an administrative nature. So like your personal banking, making appointments, paying your bills, responding to personal emails, all sorts of things like that. But it's your own personal admin that's there to help your life tick over. And we do tend to put it aside. And it just brought back some memories for me. So I thought, oh, let's have a chat about it. Maybe you can shift something here. What did you think when you saw it?
Okay, I wasn't sure basically when I saw the topic. Yeah, I wasn't sure because I love doing paperwork. Basically, honestly, I love anything to do with my business. I love to. Basically, what I've done is anyway, Desmond O'Connor, Sarah's Desmond does the admin work for me. Like if I have things that needs doing, I just have to send an email and ask, request if anything, this can be done, this can be done. So it makes it very easier. So I think that's why you need a virtual assistant, because they're not expensive. And also, like with the Daisy's, when you pay for his coaching, you pay for the whole package. Like if you want things done, you will send a message to his secretary, and so his secretary will do all the work. Like if you want things done, there's some things that you want it to be done, or you want things to be updated on the website, all you got to do, you just have to send the information and send it over. So for me on my side, what I do, I just reply to the emails. But with the emails, I just do it as I go along, because sometimes you can easily put things off. So I deal with that. I used to have lots of phobia myself anyway. So I basically meditate. If there is something that is basically freaky in my life that I don't understand, if I question something, that means I don't understand it. So I have to go into my foundation and basically, because we could have loads of phobia of putting things off, not wanting to do things, and you like I got back to it. I got back to it. Or sometimes you have where you, like, let's say you want to you're motivated and then you lose that motivations for a few days or for a few weeks. So you need to find that momentum, find out why that is going on. Because sometimes it could be the phobia that has been planted to us, by you, or it could be planted by someone else. You see someone else and is a coping behavior, which is easy to get rid of. Like when you go to a business event, have you ever realized that, like, you hear people talking like, I don't like doing this. And then you go home and you end up start doing exactly what people are saying they don't like doing it.
Yeah, maybe, or you'll become aware of the fact that you don't actually like it, and
Yeah,
maybe in putting off it maybe just brings you more awareness to it.
yeah,
So it could be that. And yeah, I hear what you're talking about. So you're talking about business admin when you're talking about a VA, and yes, that's great to be able to hand that over. It's more to do with your life admin, what you need to do to have your life tick over, and in a way, and so your own personal banking, would you actually send that to a VA to do your own personal banking?
personal banking, no,
Yeah. And
no.
what about making like hair appointments or dentist appointments or things like that, or organizing your own holiday? All the things that you're doing for that. Actually, these are the sort of things that we're talking about when we talk about life
Yeah,
admin.
yeah.
Yeah. So would you have a VA
Oh
to do
yeah,
that?
yeah. Personal assistant, yes.
Yeah.
Personal assistant. If you can't cope, that's why celebrities don't do things themselves. You have to have a personal assistant. If you are a business person, and you need a personal assistant to book your holidays, even with the banking as well, they'll do everything for you. If you are that
Right.
person, that yeah,
Yeah.
you do need a personal assistant. It's not a
Sounds
phobia.
good. That
Yeah,
sounds good. Yeah, that's just like handing it over.
yeah,
Yeah.
because if you look at it, it's like myself. I have children. I have to work as well. And like when you do all these, like when you talk about personal hair, booking your hair, I wouldn't have time to book my hair, to do anything. So that's why you need a personal assistant to assist you, to make sure that the small little things that you can't handle, like when you are busy, like working, traveling, you need someone to make sure that the flights are booked. The little things.
Yeah. And if you're not someone that can afford a PA, then you need to be able to do it yourself.
Yeah, if you can't afford a PA, then you need to do it yourself.
Yeah.
That's when you're gonna have to be really disciplined in doing it. You have to be disciplined. I do things in the house, but I don't need a PA because my spouse, he does, we share.
Right.
We have this thing where when he does things, like he likes to buy things, he likes to sort things out. So in the house, he likes to see that there is order in the house. So that it helps me a lot. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so it helps me a lot because I wouldn't be able to handle things on my own. So with the everything, so that's what you need to do. If you can't afford a PA, you have to be disciplined or find someone in the family that can help you with all these little things that when you are busy, like let's say if you go to a business event or you're working, they can just look at it and ask what needs to be done for you. Or else you can actually do it on your phone as you go along. I have an alarm. Basically, I look at things that needs doing for me, for my life, and I set an alarm on my phone. It means I can. Everyone complains. They're like, "What's the alarm for now?" It rings. It rings. That means it reminds me to
Um,
pay for something, to do something. Yeah,
yeah.
you have to be disciplined.
So you've then already planned it through to put it into your phone.
Yeah, I plan
So
it,
you
and
scheduled
yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah, and then I schedule on
Yeah.
my phone to make sure that I don't miss it, because you can
Mm,
easily miss it. You can easily get
yeah.
distracted, and you can easily basically remember and just ignore and say, "Oh, I'm gonna go back to it," but then
Hmm.
you forget.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm going. I can feel myself going. Oh no, no, no! Can't do that. You know, and I'm sure there'll be people that can resonate with what I'm saying here. You
Yeah,
know, because the thought of doing these tasks can sometimes they just seem overwhelming.
yeah, it is.
And the thing is, they do weigh heavy on you.
Yeah,
And it's actually the sight of it around you, even if it's just it's all piled up on your desk and around you. It just seeing it can be really emotionally quite heavy and feel heavy sort of in your whole being. And I know um, it was something that I wasn't very good at. I remember when my house got repossessed, building up to that time, I mean, for a long time,
yeah,
quite a few years, I was ignoring all the post. You know, it was piling up and up, and I just couldn't face it. But it was there, and that even that felt heavy, but it just added to it. And then afterwards, my daughter sat me down and said, "Come on, Mum, let's go through this."
yeah,
And that was great having somebody with you to just go through it. You know, we just went through, and I was able to just go through each one, discard of it or file it or
yeah,
whatever, you know, and deal with it. I remember thinking at the time, why didn't I deal with it? But when you're going through it and you've really got that block,
yeah.
it
Because
is
it's
very
fear.
hard.
It's fear
You
to
just absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah,
it is
because you
fear.
can't face what
Yeah,
you're going to see in the letter. It's like you just part of you just goes, oh, I can't face that. And so yeah, it was, and I'm sure there are people that are feeling that,
yeah,
and it is, you know, something you could do is maybe get somebody to come in and sit with you, or if you know, go on Zoom and team up, buddy up on Zoom and have a block some time together where maybe they're doing theirs and you're doing yours, you know, and it's just having some companionship to get it done, so that you can sort of talk about it or talk about your fears or
yeah,
what's coming up, but it gives you that scheduled time with somebody to support you. And so that's one way that you could actually assist yourself in getting it done.
yeah,
uh, um, but it is, I don't know whether it's a phobia or it's a fear, or where that comes from, because I've always hated clearing and tidying up. And I remember as a child, I shared my bedroom with my sister, and she didn't clear up that much. And I used to get cross with her, but I didn't clear up that much. But when I did, I always used to feel ill. My head used to hurt. I felt sick. There was something about the dusting, the cleaning, sorting everything out. I really felt quite ill. And then it was just, oh, I can't do this anymore. So it did get better, a bit better over time, but it's still something that I don't enjoy doing.
yeah,
And I know when I was married, it was great to have, I had a cleaner come in, which helped a lot because she tidied up, and that took one task.
yeah,
Once a week she'd come in and do that, and it's like, oh, for me, that just gave a real breather, and it meant I was able to focus on other things. But actually, as we're talking, what I'm remembering is that feeling when I was a child, feeling very sick. And I'm just wondering if maybe I need to do some work with that inner child who is still perhaps going, oh, I can't face that because of how I'm going to feel. You know?
Oh yeah, you do need to um you need to use your beliefs to actually face whatever you believe that is a block in your life. You need to deal with it, because it could be actually blocking you moving forward with your lives and becoming the person that you want to be. For me, basically, I use the meditation for my inner child, to unblock whatever is a blockage, whatever the energy that is blocking me doing the things that I want to do. I go to the struggles, the meditation of struggles, inner child to conflict. Because sometimes when you were children, you argue with people at school, you argue with your friends, and that energy of conflict, we think that it goes away, but I think it stays with you.
Yep.
So I use all those meditation to make sure that there was a meditation that I was using the other day. What was it? It's to remove bad aura. Basically, you just I use that meditation, and as I was, because sometimes there's one that you can listen to as a music, so I listened to it. I could feel in my chest. I was like, it's like somebody wanted to strangle me. It was like someone was strangling me or something in my chest, and I was like, what the heck is going on? I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
Honestly, I couldn't breathe. But I kept breathing until the air, until I was free. So you have to, yeah, it does help.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the inner child, that conflict that's within you,
Yeah,
is what runs you.
yeah,
And
yeah,
unless you resolve that,
yeah.
deal with that, then you're not going to be able to move forward
No,
as freely or as quickly as you want to, if at all. You know, it may just hold you completely in the space that you're in. You know, so certainly there's a lot of inner work needs doing, and there's different ways of doing it. And yes, meditation is one. Prayer, asking for, you know, we often ask for the Holy Spirit to come in
yeah,
and deal with what's going on, or to show me what needs to be dealt with, and what tools I can use that I've got, or who do I need to speak with, who could support me,
yeah,
because maybe it's not in my toolkit. You know, sometimes we do need to go to someone else to
yeah.
support us.
Yes, yes,
Um,
we do.
yeah, yeah.
I,
So
I, I, I normally get support from you guys. Like, I'm wondering what I'm going to discover when I watch your live. So I'm interested with
yeah.
what I'm going to discover. Like yesterday when I was in the meeting, it was very interesting, like to listen to different people with different opinions. So sometimes it does help. Like when you go like for business events, you are with GTEx, right? So you guys do the business events. I'm sure there are some people that you feel comfortable talking about it. You'll find that when you do go, like if you go to talk about personal things, like you discuss, you know each other very well now. And if you discuss about personal things, you'll find that you will discover more about yourself and the things that you're putting off, you are ignoring, and the character. And when somebody describes their character, you'll be like, I do that as well. And it's a habit that you have to. I'm always working on me. I'm always like, if I go and watch your live, Carol Ann, and I see something that needs working with me, I never ignore it.
Yeah.
I always, I always make sure that I work on myself, because like what you're saying, inner conflict, like right now you just said that inner conflict, and I didn't know how much our inner conflict can affect us. So I think I need to use the meditation more to
Okay.
release, to
Yeah.
release,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I love what you say, that you never ignore it.
yeah,
And sometimes that's not always that easy. It's not about not ignoring it, because sometimes it'll nudge us, and we hear it or we feel it.
yeah,
It is about acknowledging it and then doing something about it. And that's the not ignoring it. When you don't do anything about it, that's ignoring it, that's pushing it away. And sometimes we do that, and that's very similar to what we're doing with our
yeah,
life admin, the paperwork that we need to do. Because
yeah,
for me, it's like making appointments. I need to make a hair appointment, and I haven't done one for quite a few weeks, and it's I keep looking at my hair, but what's stopping me? I don't actually know. There's something. I'm sort of in a bit of a phase at the moment where I don't seem to have the energy, or I keep forgetting. And then I'll get to the end of the day and go, oh, I still haven't done that. But I haven't written it down as a task to do.
yeah,
So maybe that's something that maybe it's a separate task list that you set out. It's separate to your business to-do list, all the actions that you need to do. This is a separate list. And then you can schedule them, or maybe block some time and say, right, I'm just going to focus on my life admin tasks and deal
yeah,
with that, so that's another way of dealing with it. But certainly don't ignore it,
yeah,
because that can lead to problems. That leads you up the garden path, so to speak.
yeah.
And it's not a garden path that you want to go to.
I need to do my hair on Friday as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the only way for me to do it, I do it myself now. I don't go to a hair salon. I watch
Okay.
videos. I watch videos on YouTube, and I do
Yeah.
it myself. So the
Okay.
only way I can do it, I have to do it like 6 a.m. And
Right.
that way it gets done.
Yeah.
If I say I'm gonna do it in the
Nice.
day, it's never gonna happen.
How long does it
So
take to do your hair?
2 hours.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I put whatever I need to put in my hair and leave it for 2 hours, and then then I wash it.
Yeah.
It's just step by step. I'm learning to use basically to use the simple things, because what I need to do, like I make my remedy at home. Like the
Right.
hair stuff that will cost me maybe £50. So I make it at home. I watch YouTube channels, and
Right.
I make it, and then I do my hair.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
It's easy. Just to make it, it takes about maybe 20 minutes. So
Okay.
it saves me money as well. And also I'm
Yeah.
learning when I'm doing it, I'm actually learning like so there's a channel that I watch with the Indian hair. So I learn, because we go and buy the products, and the products are so expensive,
Yeah.
and they use the really easy ingredients. So just go and I just watch it, I just make it, and I do it.
Nice. Problem is my hair needs cutting, and I can't cut my
Yeah,
hair.
I
So
can't. If it needs cutting, then I have to go to someone to
yeah.
cut my hair.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna have to do it. What happened during lockdown? I think I did cut my hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think everyone in the house I ended up cutting children's hair.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it was depressing. Honestly,
Yeah.
when I look back, I'm like, what was that all about?
What about? I
Really?
know. I think people really came to appreciate their hairdresser, didn't they,
Yeah,
during lockdown?
yeah,
And I think it was, something that you perhaps didn't fully appreciate before. It was just something that you did, but I think people really came to appreciate their hairdressers
Yeah.
and the role that they play, because it is an important role that they play in your life.
Yeah.
And certainly, and it is so nice once your hair has been cut. It just feels so different. And I know, because mine gets to a point where it is now, this length, it feels like there's a heaviness to it.
Yeah.
Whereas when it gets cut, it's as if it takes the weight out. And my whole body, that gets to a point where she's cutting it off, my whole body gives this sigh. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, oh, that feels good. And then it's got to bounce again to it, you know.
So
And
what can't you, like, when you go to the hairdresser, do your hair, and then they just book the next appointment straight away, and it's just
I
say,
used to. And I think it's all part of where my energies have been, because it's just that effort, that thinking, oh, when can I fit this in? And I've got to make the effort to go there. I've got to I've got to go on the train, and then get the bus. Could I possibly borrow the car? No, I don't know. So all of these excuses are
yeah,
going on in my head at the moment. That's where I'm at. And I need to just put those excuses to bed, say night night. You know, you're not actually serving me anymore.
yeah,
And just book it, because you know, it doesn't take that long just to walk up to the station, get the train. It's one stop, and then the bus stop is across the road from the train station, and then it's just a few minutes on the bus, you know. So
yeah,
it's all in my mind more than anything, because once you get and do it, it's fine. And it's very often it's the thinking of it that actually creates the problem, not the actual doing. It's that thinking about it, and somehow our mind just goes berserk, creates all these images or reasons or excuses, and then, you know, but when you actually tackle it and you do it,
yeah,
it gives a lightness. It gives it, oh, well, that wasn't quite so bad as I thought. And actually, because it's been done, you suddenly feel, wow, that's good, you know. So it is tackling your mindset. What is it that actually you're thinking
yeah,
that is stopping you? And I think maybe I've been ignoring those thoughts. So I need to stop ignoring them, recognize them for what they are, recognize them for how disempowering they're being,
yeah,
and reframe them and say, look, I want more empowering thoughts. Because just go in my diary, book it, boom, you know. I can get up and go out and go to get the train and go to Southend for the day, you know. It's like, why can I not get up, go get the train and a bus and go get my hair done?
yeah.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's very, very interesting, because we get so
Mm.
busy, and for me, basically, and that's why everyone moves in the house. If I have tasks that I need to complete, or if I need to do my daughter's hair, I know it will take me 5 minutes or 10 minutes, but it's just
Mm.
remembering doing it. So I ask her, "Can you remind me to do your hair?" So she won't let me off. And she always reminds me when I'm so busy. She's like, "Mommy, you said to remind you to do my hair." So then I have to straight away. I have to drop everything and then go and make sure that her hair is done. Otherwise, you get so busy. And
Yeah.
so my oldest daughter, I don't have to worry about doing things for her, because now she's older, so she can do her hair.
Mm.
Basically, she makes sure that she learned to do her hair, because apparently I pull people's hair. So
Mm-hmm.
it's easy. Just make some bookings. If you don't have anyone to help you, just make some bookings and
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
in your diary, and make sure that you follow it up. Like with the doctors, like if you have an appointment and the doctors now is good, because it reminds you, you get a text as a reminder. So you take that they're gonna remind you, that's fine. And then with your small things like doing your hair, having your facial massage. For me, my spouse deals with that. If we have to go for massage, he deals with that. All those things like uh, I'm not. I don't have to worry about these small things because he does get involved in helping them. He likes shopping, so anything to do with paying, so he
Yeah.
loves doing it. So I let him get on with it. So it
Nice.
is nice to have and to have that part is someone helping you. But when it comes to remembering, like what you're saying, I relate to you because sometimes I'm like, oh, I need to do my hair or I need to do my nails. It's just it doesn't take a long time, but it's just finding that time. Like this
Yeah.
weekend, I'm always busy and the sun was out. So we went out and had an ice cream with the family. When we came back, and everyone was like, we're going to watch a film." So I was like, "Actually, I'm going to sit outside to have a sunbath." So I just took a blanket and went and lay outside. And because normally I'll be working, so I'll be like, I'm working. So, but the sun was nice, so I was like, I'm not touching any work. And I'm doing my exams, the final exams for my uni. I'm like, I'm just gonna ignore everything because one day is not gonna make any difference. So I just
Right.
sat outside, Carol, and I enjoyed my sun. And I just listened to the music. I just stayed there.
Yeah.
So
And
sometimes,
sometimes you have to do that, don't you?
yeah,
You just take time out
yeah,
for yourself, and
yeah,
that is important.
yeah.
Very important. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because when you go and do your hair, you are out of this environment of busy. You're relaxing. You're chatting to the hairdresser, and your hairdresser misses you as well because you're part of the family.
What a lovely thought. Yeah.
You're part of the family, honestly. We
Yeah.
don't realize these things when the things like it's like a supermarket. When you go to supermarket, you talk to people, the cashiers, you make friends with them because they see you very often. And they're like, oh, you're doing shopping today. And
Yeah.
they become like your cycle, your environment. And you go to your hairdressers, where you do your nails, where you have your massage, everything. Those people, they are part of you. Even though you pay them, but you see them as a part of you. When you go to school with the teachers, I don't have
Yeah.
to worry. When I drop my children to school, I don't have to worry because I know that there's a mother and a father that is looking after them. And for me, basically, I'm leaving you with my daughter. That means you have to take good care. I trust that you're going to take good care of my daughter. So those people, they are part of us.
Yeah,
So
what a lovely way. Yeah,
yeah, so your
hadn't
hairdresser
thought
is
about that.
missing you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, I
yeah.
must make that
We
appointment.
we
Yes.
saw we went to bowling the other day,
Yeah.
and my partner he saw his hairdresser, and his hairdresser had a son there, and he had our daughter. They went to get what they get ice cream, and the hairdresser ended up paying for our daughter because he's
Oh,
part of the
yeah.
family. So that's how to look at
Yeah.
it that way. That okay, all these people is like here when we are at Ngozi talk shows.
hmm
You have people that come in and they pop out, and the day you don't appear to Ngozi talk show, they will be like, "Where is Carol Ann? Where is Nomsa?" They are like
Yeah.
wondering where are you because you're part of them. So that's how it works. So you should look at it that way. Like, I'm gonna go to the hairdresser because I miss my hairdresser.
I like that. So I think there's something I wrote here is like replace dread with
Yeah,
something else.
yeah,
So in terms of booking those appointments, I can reframe it in my
yeah.
head.
Reframe it. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
let's go and
yeah.
see this. Yeah, going to see family.
Yeah,
Looking at a different way. That's a
yeah.
nice
Not been
idea.
there for a long time. I should go.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so you know, other things, other tasks could we replace dread with, you know, because it's that dread of maybe opening those letters.
Yeah.
Maybe reframe that dread in some other way, because it's like it's giving some sort of clearing, because actually it gives you, as I said before, it's more the thought of the action of what am I going to read and what am I going to see here. If it's some bills that you really don't want to see, actually seeing them means that you can then face them and move on. It's not still stuck there as a wondering, oh gosh, wonder what it is, wonder what it is. It's maybe it could reframe it instead of dreading it. It's a way of freeing you up. It gives you wings to fly, you know, on to the
Yeah.
next thing. Because maybe you can't do anything about what the letter is saying in that moment, but at least you know what it's saying.
Yeah.
And your mind, you can then put up a prayer and say, okay, this is the situation. These are the facts. At the moment, I have no idea how I'm going to deal with this.
Yeah.
Please, Lord, help me.
Yeah.
You can then put it up there because the facts are then known, and you're not constantly wondering, and your mind isn't creating mountain out of possibly a molehill,
Yeah.
you know, or an even bigger mountain of what could be a bit of a mountain, you know.
Yeah.
But your mind always makes it bigger than it actually is.
Yeah.
And so it's being able to really look at it, the facts of, well, what are these letters about?
Yeah.
You're not opening. Really get a clear picture, set it down, and then just think, well, how can I deal with this? And if
I,
you don't
I,
think you
I
can,
open letters. I open letters during lockdown
mm-hmm,
because I wasn't working in the business, so I couldn't pay some of the loans.
mm-hmm,
So I basically I open letters, and I like to basically solve the problems straight away because I know if I don't solve the problems straight away, uh, it causes problems. So I like people to know that I acknowledge what is going on, but at that moment, I can't do anything about it. So
mm-hmm,
I do that. So, and also, you know, these people, like when it comes to, like you say, your house is repossessed and stuff, they
mm-hmm.
like chasing. So sometimes it can be so annoying. I saw it during lockdown that sometimes these people, the loan companies, can be so annoying. Really,
Yeah,
really annoying.
mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah.
And their letters are threatening. You
Yeah.
know, I had loans that actually got put over to the debt collectors.
Yeah.
You know, and they're so threatening. And so again, it is. I really understand it. It's not a nice feeling to read these
Yeah.
letters. So it's actually being able to somehow read them and not feel that energy that comes from them. You know, it's maybe just put a prayer before you open it, before you read it, just put a prayer and bless it,
Yeah.
so that the energy that could potentially come through with it doesn't. You can just read it,
Yeah.
be present to it,
Yeah.
and it have no impact on you whatsoever, because
Yes, actually, that's
then
a good
you
idea.
can move forward.
Yeah, that's a good idea
You're
to
not
pray.
stuck.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good idea to pray.
Mm.
Pray for it. Yeah.
Pray it,
Mhm.
pray over it, bless it. You
Yeah.
know, even sometimes there's things I've done, like is bathe it in the blood of Christ,
Yeah.
you know, because it cleanses
Yeah.
the
I use
energy within it.
yeah,
And
I
it
use the
then,
blood of Jesus. Yeah.
mhm. So you then don't get impacted by that energy, that
Yeah.
horrible negative energy. And therefore, you are able to be very present to it, and
Yeah.
you can then move on. You can then start taking action. You have a clearer head, you know, whereas otherwise it gets so muddled. Your head
Yeah.
clouds, you shut down, your brain refuses to function, and your whole life just freezes up. You know, it isn't just that part of your life that's frozen, everything else starts to freeze up.
Yeah.
And you're not functioning. So yeah, just putting that prayer out so you can actually face it and do it.
Yeah,
And
for me, like what you are saying, Carol, I pray a lot. Sometimes but I've never done it where I pray the letter. I think I've done it a few times, like when someone says, maybe write a message to pray, or sometimes if there is a letter that I need to solve, I just hold it. But I've never actually prayed specific for it. So I think I need to do that.
Yeah, it certainly helps. And I think it's something that we tend to forget because you move on, you perhaps haven't had to do it, and then you forget. So it's great to remember that there are some really powerful techniques. And actually, there was something I read this morning. There's a quote by Karen Salmonson, and she asked the question, what are the most powerful words in the universe? The ones you use to talk to yourself.
Yeah.
And when you can be aware of that and become aware of those words, what are you saying to yourself?
Yeah.
Because that's what you're working with.
Yeah.
And then, it's that, well, where did those words come from? Whose words were they that you maybe took on? Or just, well, does it serve you anymore? Reframe them, bless them, say thank you, let them go. Whichever in that moment feels appropriate.
Yeah,
So you can
because
then move on.
words are very powerful as well.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Words are very powerful. But the most powerful ones are the words you say to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talk to myself a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talk to myself a lot. It's mostly if I'm thinking something negative, I have to rephrase, correct myself. That no, that's not the case. This is what is happening.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what else could you do? Just how to cope when actually a life admin does get too much? Because
But
sometimes it's the fact that it's just physically there, as we've said.
yeah,
So maybe create some space.
yeah,
Find somewhere that you could just, maybe in a drawer or a cupboard,
yeah,
and put it out the way.
yeah,
Then it's not seen. But it's not a case of put it away, forget it.
yeah,
It's put it away so that you can then free your mind up, and what you see is a nice clear space that you can work with.
yeah,
But you make sure that you schedule time to go back in and deal with it.
yeah,
And so blocking out maybe, time, maybe have a life admin day where you just go, okay, this day is all about me doing everything that I've been putting off doing. Or you just block out time in your schedule. This is my life admin time. Like
I
you
had
schedule
I,
other things.
I had 2 weeks of editing videos yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been putting them off. Normally, when we finish going live, I have to go and edit it straight away. But I've been putting them off for 2 weeks, and I had to go
Right.
back and just work on them, and
Yeah.
it was annoying. So I'm not gonna put it back. So I'm not gonna put
Um,
them back no more. So I've learned my
yeah.
lesson.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
I think Carol Annie is very, very important to actually just look at your life and just go deep. Like myself, I look at my life. If I'm feeling like the energy is going, or if I don't feel that energy, that's when I go crazy. That's when I get into prayer. I get into meditation, and I just like what you were saying, you use the blood of Jesus. I do that a lot. And for those who believe in the universe, I don't know how to communicate with the universe, but I can tell you that when I when I pray with God, I know how to communicate with God. I use the volcanic power of God to go into my foundation and erupt anything that is destroying, and basically erupt the delay. Everything, the blood that raised Lazarus from death, the blood that defeated death, because when Jesus was resurrected, that means he defeated death, and that is powerful. But I don't know how to communicate with the universe, because I don't know. I believe that God created the universe. So when I'm speaking to God, that means I'm speaking to everything that he created. So I don't know. I cannot teach people how to communicate with the universe, because some people say you can communicate with the universe. So I don't know how to do that. So I always say to people, those who believe in the universe, it's very, very important to know the weapon that you're using. How do you communicate with it? Do some research, find out how you can communicate with the universe straight. And their weapon with God is his blood. There's so many things. It is God of Abraham, God of Isaac, the blood that defeated death, the God that resurrected Lazarus. There's so many things that you can use. And so you have to know, so you can bring that energy back to you. That is basically, if you're feeling that I don't feel up to it, because I don't think that there's anyone who feels good all the time. I don't think so.
No, there's always down moments, you know, and again, there is energies that are coming through that we can't deal with, so we have to just be with them, and it's just the ups and downs of these energetic cycles. But
Yeah,
and also, I mean, you've got the moon cycle as well. There's pulls with that, which again affects how you're feeling and how you're able to function. But certainly I agree with you in terms of, yes, if it's not God that you believe in, you've got another force that you believe in, or whether it is the universe or some other spiritual being, whatever it is that's there for you, certainly find out how to pray and what energies you're working with.
yeah,
And it's about being specific, very
yeah.
specific, not just wishy-washy, because that there's like wishy-washy. Well, what is it you want? You know, really don't know. Let me give you a bit of this, let me give you a bit of that, and then you're going, but that's not what I asked for, that's not what I asked for. Well, you know, be a bit more specific. What is it that you actually want? And also be open to receiving the way it comes to you. Because again, we were talking about expectations the other week. It's not about having an expectation of what it is you want and how it's going to come to you. It's just putting up that prayer and being open to it coming in whatever form it comes in. And it can be quite strange at times. It's like, wow, I hadn't thought about it coming in this form. But it's exactly answers your prayer. The preciseness of how it answers your prayer is really uncanny. Very uncanny. So it is, letting go of those expectations of how it should show up or what it should be like. Just put up the prayer and be open to receiving what comes back. And if you're going a little bit, oh, it wasn't quite what I wanted, just acknowledge what's come. Be grateful.
Yeah.
Just be grateful. And then go, okay, so what was it I asked for? What is it I've got? Does this match or not? And then just put up another prayer, have a conversation and say, well, actually, this isn't quite what I was asking for. And I'm not quite sure why this has come.
Yeah.
Could you please show me, teach me?
Yeah.
And this is what I was really after. Does this fit or not? Or is there something else that you could now give me? You know, it's having that conversation.
Yeah.
And actually everything comes down to communication, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, Carol, and I
Yeah,
agree with you.
yeah.
My father is saying hello.
Hello. Nice. Thank you for joining us. Yeah.
Yeah, it is that communicating and knowing how to ask, and
Mm.
also knowing how to listen. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I just find that sometimes that I pray, and when I pray, uh, I get like what you were saying, that sometimes you get the things that you didn't ask for, and then you have to basically work out why that has been. You have to ask again, just praying, trying to understand
Mm.
what is going on. So it is good. It's good to understand that when you are doing something, when you believe in something, it's good to understand. I believe in God before, but I didn't have a clue. I think I was just following people saying if they
Um,
believe in God, and when I go to prayer, it was one day, basically, I don't know, I just woke up and I was like, what the heck am I believing? I'm saying I believe in God. I don't even have a clue what is going on. So I was like, every time, like I believed that a pastor can fight my battle. That's what I grew up believing, that whenever I've got problems, I have to go to someone and they fight my battle. But it's a good
mm.
idea to believe in someone helping you, but at the same time, you have to help yourself. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to learn to actually fight my own battles, and just asking help for people to fight my own battles, and
Mm.
then myself I speak as well. So,
Yeah. And I
which
like the
is
way you
important.
phrase that. It is about asking for help and support
Yeah,
such that you can fight them.
yeah.
It's not about saying, "Oh, you fight my battles
You,
for me."
but I used to do
You know,
that.
here, you do it. You do it.
You just get on with it,
Yeah. You'll find your battles that get stronger and stronger because you haven't learnt the lesson.
you just get on with
Yeah.
it, Pastor, and just do it for me. I'll be sitting there
Yeah.
in the sun, and you'll be telling God what's going on in my life and fighting for me. That's what I
Mm.
used to believe, honestly.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. Like, so something else that we can do is actually recognize what is it that's stopping us. What is it that we're saying to ourselves? So are we
Yeah,
saying, I don't have time, or you're just forgetting,
yeah. We need to reframe it.
or I'm too tired,
Yeah,
you know,
reframe it. Yeah,
work keeps getting in the way, or perhaps not knowing where to start.
yeah,
So actually look at, is it, if it's any one of those, and say, well, are they actually true? You know, do I actually have a lack of time? Am I too tired? But if you're feeling tired, what is the nature of the tiredness? Because sometimes it's the actual thought of the task and doing it that is making you tired. You're
yeah,
not actually tired. So it's not actually true that you're too tired. And I know that when I've been doing work on myself, very often sort of stepping into a goal, I felt so tired. I just want to go to sleep. And I'll sit with it and I'll feel that tiredness and feel myself shutting down, and then I'll get up and I'll just work through and do the process. And when I come out the other side, it's like, oh, where's that gone? It's not actual tiredness, because
yeah,
then I feel totally different. I've got an energy within me, and then a
yeah,
little while I was just like, well, actually, here's tiredness. Now I need to go to bed,
yeah,
because it's a different tiredness. It's a true tiredness. So
yeah,
it's being able to discern, is it actually tiredness? Or is it just the thought of the task
yeah,
that's closing you down?
yeah,
It's a very heavy energy. It's, at times it can be quite a dark
yeah,
energy, and it's just being able to be present to it and not
yeah,
let it take over you. Because actually, if you do then decide, oh, I'm going to go to sleep because of that tiredness, you don't really get a decent sleep, because you wake up and you haven't resolved what's made you tired anyway. So, it doesn't actually help. So noticing is a really important skill. And just asking. So not knowing where to start. Well,
Yeah.
is that the truth as well? Do you not really know? And if you did know, what would you be knowing? Where could you start? Just phrase it
Yeah.
slightly different. Ask yourself a question that would then go, oh, if I did know, what would I be knowing? And if I did know where to start, where would I actually start? Little just ways of again communicating and asking
Yeah.
yourself questions and then allowing the answer to come. Because you might go, well, I don't know. There might be an immediate, I don't know. Well, then you ask yourself, well, if I did know, what would I be knowing? And breathe into it
Yeah.
and let the answer come. And I know there was someone I often used to have conversations with and on the phone, and she'd say, I said to her, what could you do with, to resolve this issue? Oh, well, I don't know. It was an immediate throwback. And I said, well, if you did know, I wonder what you might be knowing and then what you might find yourself doing. And I know you don't like that question. I just ask you to sit with it, because very often the next day you come back to me and say, oh, I found myself doing this.
Yeah.
And every time it worked. That person would find themselves taking action and resolving the issue or the problem that was
Yeah.
there. It's such a powerful technique, Yeah. So again, it's just asking better questions that open up, that dive in, looking inward, and
Yeah.
actually saying, look at your thoughts and ask yourself, well, what is the truth of them?
Yeah. Sometimes our thoughts can work against us as well. Yeah, there's been so many times, like sometimes, like because in the evening I go running and stuff. So sometimes I'll hear my thoughts. My thoughts will be telling me something that instead of going running, what can you do? I'm like, no, I never thought of that. That's not my thought. And I'm like, oh. So I don't want to do exercises in the house. I want to go out. So sometimes our thoughts can work against us. We just need to cleanse this bad energy all the time.
Sorry, I missed that. What did you
We
say
need
there?
to
That
cleanse. We need to cleanse.
cleanse. I
Cleanse.
got you.
Cleanse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Cleanse. It's called.
Cleanse the
Is it
energy.
bad aura? Remove bad aura. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
wouldn't say it. I don't tend to use the words good or bad.
Yeah.
It's either heavy energy, it's dark energy, or it's a lighter energy. It's not working for you. So sort of
When it's
rephrase it.
dark, you just said dark, Carol Ann. Carol, dark is bad.
Well, see, I don't label it as bad. It's what it is. I don't. There is no good or bad, because it's like this is the duality
Yeah.
of this 3D world. When
Yeah.
you actually move
Dimension.
into the fifth dimension,
Yeah.
there is no duality.
Yeah.
It's better, it's worse. It's dark, it's light. There's no sort of duality. There's only unity. There's only love, and there is only what is. So you're
Yeah.
not creating this good or bad, right or wrong,
Yeah.
which is a three-dimensional energy. It's yeah. So I don't tend to use those
I
words or
I
label
call it
things.
bad, and I call it bad. And when I meditate, I can feel it. That gets pissed off, and I can feel it is clearing. When I call it
Yeah.
names, I'm not soft when it comes to bad energy. When I feel like I'm motivated, and then all of a sudden my motivation is gone, my prayer of motivation is gone. That's when I go mad. And I
Yeah.
go into meditation, and when I go into meditation, I go mad, and I could hear it. It's like it's
Mm.
like there is something that is covering you, and it's like that something is clearing off, and I can
Mm.
feel it. That is
Yeah.
something is going. So
Yeah. 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 Interesting.
yeah, that's when I say
Ah.
anything you did not plant. I say, God, anything you did not plant about me, it needs to be clear off. It needs
Mm.
to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you hear my children and their father like, do you pray like normal people that are soft? And then I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing that because the enemy has no mercy with me. So why should I have
Mm.
mercy? No.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I just like to, because I'm hearing that you know, you're an admin doer. You're a super doer. So I heard that I read this morning about this four sort of types of life adminers. There's
Yeah,
the super doer, there's
yeah,
the reluctant doer,
yeah,
there's the admin avoider, and there's
yeah.
the admin denier. So recognize which are you and don't make yourself wrong.
Okay.
Just recognize which one is serving you best.
I don't think I'm a super one. If I say I'm a super, I'll be lying. I think I
Ah,
might be the second one. No,
reluctant.
no. But I don't leave things. I get
No.
on with it. Yeah,
Sounds like
I
you're a
get
bit
on with,
between the two, maybe.
yeah, between the
Yeah,
two. Yeah. So
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
a super. If I'm a super, that means I'm so perfect. So
Okay, but you could be
yeah,
super,
I
or not
could
quite so
be,
super.
but I
You
don't
could be
want
super.
to. Yeah, I
Okay.
could be.
Yeah. So somewhere between reluctant and super is,
Yeah,
yeah,
I try to avoid the pressure, Carol Ann. If I say I'm
yeah.
perfect, that means I have to be perfect. It's a torture. Perfection
Yeah.
destroyed my marriage, so
Oh,
it's a
yeah,
torture.
yeah. Perfection is the killer of dreams.
Oh yes, yes it
Yeah,
is. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I don't want that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm,
So I think I'm in
mm.
the between one and two.
Okay.
Some days not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I have to thank God for my phone because my phone it helps me a
Mm,
lot. If there's a task that I need to do, I set up the alarm. Is
mm-hmm,
it reminds me that at 5 o'clock and this needs to be done 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock.
mm.
If I can't do it that moment, I have to move forward the clock. So in
Right.
the house,
Yeah.
like they hear the clock, they're like, "Oh, what is going on now?" So my father-in-law sometimes he complain and say, "Oh, I forgot to do them." Like you see why I set my alarm up. It means I can't forget. Even to pay the
I
bills, I
love it.
remind myself to
Yeah.
make sure that the bills are paid.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it. So you take some time to
yeah.
actually then put those alarms in your
In my phone, on
phone.
my phone, yeah.
So do you take time once a week to do that, or is that a daily
I
action that
I,
you
I
do?
I take it maybe daily or maybe once a week.
Yeah.
Like once a week, the things that needs to be done, the reminders, I'll
Mm,
put them on my phone, on my calendar, Google Calendar. The clock
right.
will come on every single day. There'll be an alarm say this one is
Mm,
doing, this one is doing. And
yeah.
then on my phone, I go set up like if it's Tuesday that I'm meant to do this. Let's say
Mm-hmm.
there's a deadline, like there's a bill that needs to be paid by. I make sure that although I've set up on my account, I make
Mm-hmm.
sure that is done. I set the date and the time
Yeah.
before 2 days or 3 days before or 5 days before.
Mm,
So then I know it's
okay.
done.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But I might ignore one of them. But if 10 of them are done and one of them is ignored, then that means I'm there. I'm the second one.
Oh, I love it. Love it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So, so I think I love this quote by Dwayne Johnson. He
yeah.
says,
It's my favorite. I like it.
wake up determined, go to bed satisfied."
Yeah,
What a simple thing to think of. I think,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a very simple, nice and
wake
simple.
up determined, go to bed satisfied.
Okay.
So, yeah. How could you
Satisfied
create that?
that I've done all my tasks.
Hmm?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that. I do that to everything. I do that. Although I forgot to pay one of my bills. I paid everything, forgot to pay one of my bills. And yesterday I was like, oh, I didn't pay this one. It was actually one spirit came in and reminded me, which I was chasing.
Okay.
Because I meditate a lot. So when I meditate, it means I'm always removing bad
Hmm.
aura, negative energy. So when I remove energy, bad energy, sometimes I hear it say like insulting. It's like because it wants to be comfortable in certain places. So I always remove it, remove it. Uh, or sometimes it will bring something like to occupy me. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to get occupied. So you have to be aware of those things because, like, uh, if you, I do basically, like, there's a meditation that I need to do actually for, it's realization. Like, what does it do? It's like, but there's a motivation one, and there's one that you basically it gives your intuition like positive and stuff. So I need to do that, but I'm gonna go to the conflict one because you see you explain what it means, the benefits of it. So I'm gonna go back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
yeah.
Sounds good. Cool.
Any words of encouragement,
Okay.
Carol Ann? I think we've been talking for a long time now.
Here we have. Um, yes. What? Uh, mm, these tasks need doing. And so it's how can you support yourself? In what ways could you support yourself? So one of the things that we've we talked today
Yeah,
about lots of different things that you could do. What one thing could you take on board that would support you?
yeah,
And don't make yourself wrong if you're not getting your admin done. What I would suggest is find a way of actually being able to get it done. Say to yourself, well, what could I actually do? Because the question is, do you want to continue feeling uncomfortable, heavy, not really satisfied? Or do you want to feel satisfied, joyful, alive, much lighter and moving forward with your life? So ask yourself that question and then say, right, well, what can I do? And just pick one of the things that we said and have a go with it.
yeah,
If it doesn't work, pick something else, and also that thought, reach out and ask for some support because you don't need to do it all by yourself.
yeah.
Yeah, life's too short. Life's too short.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Life is too short.
Yeah.
You have to get on with it with things without
Mm.
blaming yourself, without making yourself wrong, or basically just enjoy it. If you can't do the task, you can't do it, but don't make no excuse that I couldn't do it because of this. If it's got to be done, it means you can't ignore it. It's got to be done.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
we spoke about reframing our words as well. It's very, very important that we reframe our words. And if
Mm.
you feel very low, use your beliefs to help you get where you need to go. Because uh, life can get in the way. And when life does get in the way, that means some task will be ignored. So just use your beliefs to motivate yourself. If you believe in meditation, use that meditation. If you believe in God, You got to understand how God works. You got to understand what's his name? Steve, is it Steve Harvey? Yeah, he talks about the source. Like if you believe in
Mm,
something, you have
mm,
to understand the manufacturer, how it works. So
yeah.
when you buy clothes, you have to understand the label, how you're gonna wash it, how you're gonna iron it. So understand how God works and be able to communicate with him properly to bring the energy. If you believe in the universe, uh, be able to communicate with the universe. And I think we need to bring someone that knows how to communicate with the universe. And Carol Anna, you know how to communicate with God. You were basically explaining and giving me some tips as well. So I know how to communicate with God. I think we need to bring someone in and have it as a topic as well. So, because
Mm,
some people know how to communicate, I don't have a clue how to communicate because I don't believe I don't believe in the universe. I believe that God is above them all. He created the universe. So I believe that if I'm communicating with him, I'm communicating with everything. So what
okay.
else? I think that's it actually for today.
Mm,
And you spoke about collecting the evidence. Collect the evidence of why you're feeling the way you're feeling and how long has it been going on, because the evidence will help you to go into that foundation and to remove everything that it shouldn't be there. So that's what we need.
mm. Something that just popped into my head as you're talking.
Yeah,
Actually, make a game of it, maybe.
yeah,
Make light of it.
yeah,
Bring some fun into it.
yeah,
Create some fun. Maybe put some music on and dance.
yeah,
That will shift the energy.
yeah,
So that's something else that you could do.
yeah. I have a
Yeah.
sword. With a sword, when I'm praying to God, I
Yeah.
have my sword. It's like
Okay.
a big business. When the
Yeah.
sword comes out, it means things are not going well. And I go mad. Honestly, Carol, and I go mad when
Mm,
things are not going well, and then you will see
mm,
everything changes straight away. So,
mm,
like what Carol Ann was saying, and like what Carol Ann basically is saying is, don't put it as a burden because some people they're like, why is things are not working? They start getting upset and things like
mm.
that. Put in music, it means I'm dancing with my problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yes. Yes.
celebrating. Yeah, why not?
Why not indeed? Okay.
So we are here to Ghosty Talk Shows Monday to Friday. YouTube subscribers, please subscribe to our channel. God bless and live with grace.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye, my